All right, I want to talk about billing service red flags, right? So these are the three. If I could pick three things that I would say, okay, those are not good indicators. You need to watch out for that. They would be these three things. So one is no communication, right? Or no answer. So they're great in the beginning when they're signing you up, and then you find that they're very difficult to get a hold of. And you ask questions and you're just not getting a person, right? And it's very difficult to actually get any sort of customer service and answer, right? That's a red flag, okay? For obvious reasons, that's a red flag. Customer service and communication with the office is very important. And if they can't even manage to do that, there's something else going on there, right? Number two is that when you do get someone, the answer is very confusing and you feel like they're hiding something. Okay, so sometimes when you ask someone a question, they will give you all this whatever this answer, and you're like, you feel like you got an answer but you didn't really get an answer, and you're kind of being like given the runaround a little bit, right? That is a red flag. Okay, now sometimes you just get someone who doesn't totally know, like everybody's in their stages of learning with regards to billing, and with billing there's a lot to learn. Okay, there's really a lot, and it happens all the time that someone will ask a biller a question and the biller is either confused by the question or doesn't know that answer, and so they sort of like they're uncertain and they sort of hem and haw, like, and they don't know. Like, I'm not talking about that. That's okay, right? Because a good biller they know they don't know everything, and they can always find out, right? Because who can keep up with everything that the insurance company and the government is throwing at us all the time, and all the weird reasons for denials they give us? Like, nobody can be expected to know everything right off the bat. And totally, like, honest with you guys, sometimes the person asking the question is confused, and it's confusing to even someone like me who's been doing this for a really long time, and I have to sort of figure out, like, what are they talking about, right? Because I'm thinking like a biller, but they're thinking like, you know, something else, and we're just not quite communicating, right? So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sort of more of a smoke and mirrors, like they're just trying to like make you feel better, but there's not really a tangible answer or solution or action that was done on your particular concern, where you feel like you're being you're getting a lot of PR, you're getting a public relations type answer, but it doesn't really seem like an actual answer or data, right? I'm talking about that, right? That thing that sort of makes you feel like they're not giving you the full picture, and they're kind of like glossing around it and maybe hiding something, okay? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, it's okay if somebody doesn't know something, as long as they go find out, and they're actively working to get an answer, right? Because insurance companies will send us stuff all the time that's like, why aren't they paying this now, right? That's okay. That's part of the job. It's like, okay, let's find out, why aren't they paying this? But when you get answers that are like excuses and whatever on why things weren't submitted or why they weren't followed up on, or you've called 3 times and each time you're sort of given this answer that sounds really good but nothing's happening to back it up, that's a red flag, right? The other red flag is repeat denials. So if you're getting the same types of denials over and over and over again, that is a red flag, okay? Now, when a billing service gets repeat denials, right, the same types of denials over and over and over again, there is a reason for those denials, right? Sometimes it's something the billing service can correct. Sometimes it's something the office has to correct, right? So if you see repeat denials continually, I'll give you an example. Sometimes there's data entry error type denials, and you just see tons of denials in the clearinghouse side of things, which may happen in your office if your office is doing the service entry and not the billing service, or it may happen in the billing service, and whether you even have that login or not, you might not even see that. But that points to just data entry errors, right? So somebody is not paying attention on the data entry side and needs correction, right? They need some assistance to make sure they're getting data entered correctly, right? Or maybe you have the same diagnosis code, it's invalid. It was no longer good in 2000 as of 2017, but one of the doctors, like, that's just, they use it all the time and they're not aware that it's invalid and they keep using it. And claims keep being denied and keep being denied and keep being denied because of that reason. Okay? Then there's something wrong in your revenue cycle when that happens. Somebody somewhere is not firing on all cylinders, right? So it may or may not be the billing service, but the billing service should be able to come to you and say, hey, we keep getting these denials. It appears as though insurance verification in your office is not being done properly, and we're submitting a lot of claims that aren't even covered in the first place, right? Or, hey, you guys are using this diagnosis code. It was invalid. It made invalid as of the end of last year. Here are your replacement codes. Let's get all your forms, your whatever, corrected in your office so that we don't have to now deal with these denials, right? Because here's the thing, like, who wants to sit there and do all that double work all the time? You submit a claim, it gets denied, you go back and fix it. Like, fix it at the source. So if you're seeing lots of repeat denials, a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again, even if it's not a problem with your billing service, it is to the degree that they should have at least informed you and guided you to where you can fix that, so that your whole revenue cycle can function properly. So those are the three areas I really usually. Again, it's a red flag. It's not necessarily the problem, but it's an indication that there's something going on underneath that is not optimum and is not enhancing your collections or revenue cycle.